Have you ever been told that the best revenge is living well? It sounds like a cliché, right? Something people say to make you feel better when you've been deeply hurt. But what if it's true? What if the most powerful comeback isn't a loud, angry explosion, but a quiet, determined journey back to yourself? Today we're diving into the story of Mark, a man who discovered this firsthand. His story isn't about dramatic showdowns or petty games. It's about how finding peace in the middle of chaos became his ultimate victory. Mark and Sarah had what everyone called the perfect life. They met in college, fell in love, and built a life together over 15 years. They had a beautiful house in the suburbs, two wonderful kids, and a golden retriever named Buddy. From the outside, their life was a picture-perfect postcard. Mark worked hard as an architect, designing homes for others while building his own. He believed in their future, in the promises they made. He was a good husband, a devoted father, and he thought they were a team, partners in everything. But sometimes, the prettiest pictures hide the deepest cracks. The first signs were small, almost too small to notice. Sarah started working late more often. She became protective of her phone, taking it with her everywhere, even to the bathroom. When Mark asked about her day, her answers became vague and dismissive. He tried to brush it off. "She's just stressed from work," he told himself. He suggested a weekend getaway, a date night, anything to reconnect. But she always had an excuse. The distance between them grew from a crack to a canyon. The warmth that once filled their home was replaced by a chilling silence. Mark felt like he was living with a stranger. The truth came crashing down on a Tuesday afternoon. Mark came home early to surprise the kids, but found a strange car in the driveway. A knot of dread tightened in his stomach. He walked in quietly, hearing laughter from the master bedroom, a kind of laughter he hadn't heard from Sarah in years. His heart pounded in his chest as he pushed the door open. And there she was, with another man. The world stopped. The picture-perfect postcard of his life was torn to shreds in an instant. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by his own ragged breath. In that moment, Mark's world didn't just crack. It shattered into a million pieces. The initial shock was like being submerged in ice-cold water. Numbness. Disbelief. Then came the tidal wave of emotions. White-hot anger, gut-wrenching betrayal, and a sorrow so deep it felt like it would swallow him whole. His friends and family rallied around him, and their advice was unanimous. Fight back, make her pay, don't let her get away with this. They wanted him to expose her, to take her for everything she had in the divorce, to make her life as miserable as she had made his. Every instinct screamed at him to do just that, to unleash the storm of pain she had caused. For a few days, Mark let that rage consume him. He imagined shouting matches, dramatic confrontations, a war where he would emerge the victor. But something held him back. Late one night, staring at his reflection in the dark living room window, he saw a man he barely recognized. His face was gaunt, his eyes filled with a mixture of anger and despair. He realized that a war with Sarah wouldn't just destroy her. It would destroy what was left of him. It would poison his kids' lives and trap him in a cycle of bitterness. Was that really winning? He thought about the man he wanted to be, for himself and for his children. He didn't want to be the guy defined by his anger and his ex-wife's betrayal. He wanted to be defined by his strength, his resilience, and his peace. In that moment of clarity, he made a choice. He wouldn't fight her war. He would build his own peace. The first step was the hardest: acceptance. He accepted that his marriage was over. He accepted that the woman he loved had hurt him in the worst way possible. He didn't forgive her, not yet, but he accepted the reality of the situation. Instead of hiring the most aggressive lawyer his friends recommended, he opted for a mediator. He wanted a divorce that was fair, not a battle that was won. He focused on one thing: creating a stable and loving environment for his children. He put their well-being above his own desire for revenge. Sarah was shocked. She had prepared for a fight, for accusations and anger. His calm, composed approach completely disarmed her. It wasn't what she or anyone else expected. With the legal process underway, Mark turned his focus inward. He knew he was broken, and he needed to heal. He started seeing a therapist, a safe space where he could unpack the years of unspoken feelings and the trauma of the betrayal. He started waking up early, not to ruminate in the dark, but to go for a run as the sun came up. The physical exertion was a release, a way to sweat out the anger and anxiety. He rediscovered old hobbies he'd let slide over the years: woodworking in the garage, sketching in his notebook, playing the guitar he hadn't touched in a decade. Each small act was a step back to himself, a reclamation of the man he was before he was Sarah's husband. His house, once a symbol of a broken dream, started to transform. He repainted the walls, rearranged the furniture, and filled the quiet spaces with music. He spent more quality time with his kids than ever before. They built forts in the living room, had pancake breakfasts on Saturdays, and went on hiking adventures. He was present, truly present, not just physically there. The laughter returned to his home, but this time it was genuine. His friends watched the transformation in awe. The angry, broken man they had seen just months ago was gone. In his place was a calmer, stronger, and, dare they say it, happier version of Mark. Months later, Mark ran into one of Sarah's friends at the grocery store. The friend looked at him, surprised. "You look great, Mark. Really great." The news got back to Sarah, as Mark knew it would. She heard about his new promotion at work. She saw pictures on social media of him and the kids, genuinely smiling, on a camping trip. She heard from mutual acquaintances that he was dating again, not out of desperation, but with a quiet confidence. Every piece of news was a stark contrast to her own life. Her new relationship, born from deceit, had quickly fizzled out, leaving her alone. The victory she thought she'd won felt hollow. She had expected him to crumble, to fight, to be miserable. His peace, his success, his happiness, it was the one thing she never saw coming. It was a form of revenge she had no defense against. Mark's story teaches us a powerful lesson. True strength isn't about how loudly you can shout, but how quietly you can rebuild. The greatest revenge isn't causing your enemy pain, but finding your own happiness. By choosing peace over war, Mark didn't just survive, he thrived. He took the rubble of his old life and built something stronger and more authentic. He showed his children what true resilience looks like. And in the end, his quiet, happy life was a louder statement than any angry words could ever be. He won, not by destroying her, but by rebuilding himself. So if you're ever faced with a betrayal that shatters your world, remember Mark. Remember that your energy is precious. You can spend it on anger and revenge, or you can invest it in yourself. The path to healing isn't easy, but choosing peace, choosing to live well, is a victory that no one can ever take away from you. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please give it a like and subscribe for more content that inspires and empowers. See you in the next one.